Hey, it's Tpok, back in Katawa Shoujo. It's been a while, but originally I was planning on doing a 60-minute special for my 60th episode of Katawa Shoujo. But then I realized my numbering was off, so 60th episode was actually the last episode. So, yeah, this is episode 61, I guess. So, £1 sterling. I should try to cheer her up a little. It was me who went and got her brooding after all. Wanna go grab lunch at the cafeteria after this? I just kicked my microphone. It might perk her up a bit, or at least take her mind off the apparently complicated family situation. Going by her smile, it seems to have the intended effect. I appreciate the thought, but the food there... Quite a quick redirection of the conversation. She does have a point, though. The food there isn't the greatest. Maybe the Shanghai? We could ask Hanako if she wants to come as well. What is it? I almost forgot until you reminded me. Hanako's birthday is coming up soon, and I was going to go shopping in the city for a present tomorrow. If that's an invitation, I'd be happy to accompany you. The ability to get more used to the layout of the city would probably be a good thing. I've barely set foot in there, so I'd be hopelessly lost by myself. She gives a nod, signaling that she happily approves of this plan for Sunday. We eventually get back to our books, though before I can begin reading again, I steal one last glance at her. Maybe I've been thinking on my situation too much. After all, everyone here would have their own unique circumstances. The chance to get outside and clear my head will probably do me good. Okay, so I guess we're gonna cut right to going out in the city. Bored of standing in place and watching the television in a shop window, I pull myself away from the tacky display with little effort. After living at Yamaku, the city seems like an entirely different world. No running in the halls, calm and orderly conduct is to be used at all times in the classroom. Students are to exit rooms after checking both directions for oncomers. Elevators are reserved for movement-impaired students, single file on stairs. Compared to such strict, almost regimental standards, the city shopping arcade might as well be a strange country. While the school may have its fair share of hustle and bustle during the festival, the outside world is much different. It's strange, having lived in a metropolitan city before my accident, this should feel more natural than Yamaku at the surrounding town ever could. Yet it feels foreign somehow. The elevated walkways and tall buildings, each adorned with billboards taller than any three people, don't do anything to distract me from the passing crowd's reactions. Lilly keeps one hand on my shoulder, the other holding her cane, which she taps on the ground with a metronome-like steadiness. Looking over to her, that neutral smile of hers still holds. Having only seen her in her school uniform, I'd not have recognized her as she sat on the bench waiting for me to come, if not for her cane propped up against it and her distinctive hair. I can't tell whether they're glancing at her due to her height, her foreign looks, her obvious blindness, or all three. Not that any of those would make the situation any less uncomfortable than it is. Do you have any ideas of where to look first, Hisao? Her soft voice breaks me out of my line of thought. I can't imagine that she's failing to notice the attention she garners, but she seems unfazed by it. I get the feeling she's the type to enjoy walking outside, so she might be used to it by now. Not really. This is my first time in this city, so I've got no idea of where to go. She furrows her brow in thought, planning a route for us to take, and come to think of it, a way to communicate it. Something I'd noticed in time I've been with her, when deep in thought she lacks close to any form of body language to show it. Her expression may change, but not a hint of movement shows. She seems to have little in the way of sweeping physical gestures in general, though, so I've assumed it's part of her reserved nature. Is there an electronics store near here? I take a quick look around, mostly finding clothing stores. After a few seconds, I notice a store with a bright blue sign some distance away that fits her description. Yep, it's just a bit ahead of us. Should we go in that direction? Thankfully, it's just the information she needed. With a nod, we start off and head towards Lilly's unknown destination, landmarks being our guide. Here you go, 1 vanilla, 1 chocolate. I hand the money over to the counter and take the cones to the railing that Lily's sitting on. That's probably dangerous. I can't believe I let her trick me like this. She not only led me to an ice cream stall, but also got me to buy her some. At least, she gave me the money for hers. Sure enough, she's patiently waiting where I'd left her. I guess she was planning on making the day an event rather than a simple shopping trip. I call out to her and slowly place the vanilla cone in her outstretched hands, being careful to make sure she has a good hold of it before letting go. At least her tastes are fairly normal. I was worried she'd ask for some weird flavor when she first asked. Here's the change. It's okay, keep it. I moved to protest, but realized the futility of doing so over such a small amount. I slipped the coin into my pocket, supplementing my meager allowance ever so slightly. Lily shows no sign of wanting to get up, so I take a seat beside her and start eating my own ice cream. The summer weather's nice. Hopefully it will hold out for a while. You too? I'm beginning to think I'm the only person who prefers winter. I like winter. Personally. I don't know. Actually, more fall, I guess. Where it's like not too hot, not too cold, and it's not just extremely humid like spring and wet. Autumn's nice. I contemplate her statement for a long moment. Yeah, I think you might be. Draws the intended reaction. She's cute when she's pouting. Still, I can't really imagine what's so good about winter. You can't go without bundling up and you'll still freeze anyway. I used to live further north where there'd be plenty of snow to play in, so it's a little nostalgic. I don't like the heat very much either. At least you can wear a skirt, so don't complain about that. She gives an amused giggle as we both get back to finishing off our already melting cones. I idly sit and watch the crowds going by as we eat, catching bits and bits of conversations. Looking to Lily, I see her dutifully licking her ice cream cone from the top downwards, blissfully... What? Top downwards? How do you even do that? Blissfully unaware of the fact that it's beginning to melt. It's melting. Where? Down a bit? She lowers her mouth from the top of the cone, but has no idea of exactly where the ice cream's dripping. What follows is a game of guiding her left and right until she finally finds it. To any onlooker, it must seem absolutely bizarre, a girl with her eyes closed turning her cone over and over as the guy next to her gives her instructions. A strange variant of childhood blindfold games, maybe. In good time, we finally finish our treats and while away the time conversing casually. Caught mid-sentence, Lily perks her head in her trademark manner. It's an unmistakable sign that some things caught her attention. Ah. What is it? Is Akira somewhere over there? I think I heard her. I raise an eyebrow as I look in the direction she's facing, somewhat doubtful of her ability to pick out Akira's low voice in the din. Sure enough, though, blonde girl in a suit... Whoa, that's cool how they did that. A blonde girl in a suit can be seen through the tiny gaps between people walking every which way. I raise a hand and wave, trying to catch her attention. Satao! Hey, Satao! She stops in her tracks and looks towards me, evidently noticing my calls. As she does, I notice someone walking beside her. I can't get a good look at whoever it is though before the two begin walking towards where we are. Oh, watch it be Hanako, that'd be awkward. As they reach us, Lilly and I stand to dust ourselves off. Akira? Hey, you two. Who is that? Okay. She nods towards me, a gesture which I quickly return. I gave shifts towards the young girl next to her, and our eyes meet. As they do, Akira plops a hand onto her head, a move which doesn't seem to faze her. I don't believe we've met. I'm Hideki. Hideki. Hideki? Pleased to meet you, Hisao. A guy's name, huh? I guess I just dodged a bullet there. He bows, somewhat restrained by Akira's hand. What? That's a guy? No. No. What? Oh, Hideaki. I forgot how I just said it. Hideki's here too. Are you well? Akira's been taking very good care of me, thank you. Akira grins off to affirm the point and rubs his head hard, dragging it around in a circular motion. His dreary face is somewhat amusing. I just still don't see the guy. Why does he have a bow in his hair? And are those pants ending there? Okay. Uncle's out on business again, so I'm just taking him around town for today. I'd prefer to be spending the day on a date with my boyfriend, but... Hideaki gives a cough to try and redirect Akira's thoughts. As he does so, though, I find mine wandering. They're related and further as first cousins? Wait, what? Oh, that's not... Okay. That's not her boyfriend. Okay. As he does so, though, I find mine wandering. They're related, and further, as first cousins, I suppose that explains why she's taking care of him in any case. Come to think of it, Hideaki, how do you know my name? Akira told me. Being a Yamaku student, I suppose you're disabled in some way. Not everyone in Yamaku's disabled, but I am. Which I only learned a handful of days ago. I give silent thanks to Shizune and Misha for their stream of information about how the school works. Because of them, I found out that since the school will accept practically anybody suffering from non-mental disabilities, it doesn't discriminate against healthy people either. It seems unlikely that many in good health would enroll there, though. While the standard of education is pretty high, it's extremely isolated and very much focused on helping disabled students. You're dodging the question. Damn, he's sharp. Yeah, I am, but I don't see a guy. Did I possibly mess up downloading the game? I don't know. Before I can say another word, though, he decides to take a stab at it himself. If I were to call it myself, your heart? Akira looks mildly curious. Mildly curiously at me. Okay, her interest peaked as well. That sure was a lucky guess. How did you... You show no missing limbs or deformities, so no external disabilities are out. Wait, so external disabilities are out. Considering the lack of any strange mannerisms, it's also unlikely that you have any mental disability. But Yamaku doesn't take any mentally disabled students. I know. Leaving that aside, the only possibility left is that of internal disabilities. I didn't know which one you might bear, so I guessed correctly, as it turns out, and your reaction confirmed my guess. More than a little bemused, I look to Akira. She grins and shrugs, obviously taking some enjoyment out of her partner's deductions. He's sharp, yes, but more than a little unsympathetic. Logical, but lacking in tact. His attitude reminds